almost got caught right there with like dead air.
No,
Welcome to Keep Media Live. I'm back again today I have Jim from Flint, Michigan, and Porous. Welcome.
thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
We were talking about the weather before we went live, and it's not significantly colder, I don't think. Well, you guys are getting that Arctic blast before we are, just because the way it moves across the United States, I guess. But
Yeah,
we're gonna get that too, I think, pretty soon here.
I hope not. It sucks. It
You
is
guys have
really
hot
cold.
summers though? Does it get really hot up there in the summertime?
It can. Yeah, like 80s is when it's hot. Sometimes it's in the 90s.
Yeah.
I it rarely gets over 100, I'd say. But
What do you prefer weather-wise? Do you prefer the cold weather?
I like autumn. So yeah, like
Oh
60,
yeah, that's
like 50s and low
comfortable.
60s.
Where you don't sweat and you're not freezing. Also,
Yep.
that's right. Phoenix is like that. I had the guys from Phoenix last night, and about not really summertime, like June through I think September. It's too hot, but like all the rest of the year, it's like 75, 70. That's perfect weather. I think I'm gonna move to Phoenix. I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah, for most people, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
So what's it like in Flint? I did look up some things that we'll talk about in a little bit. But what's to you? What's it like? What was it? Did you grow up there? Born and raised. What's it like in Flint?
Sure. Well, I grew up in Livingston County, which is about 40 minute drive south of Flint. And it's there's not a lot going on there, so we would often have to venture out. So the big towns, of course, would be like Detroit. There's lots of stuff
Red
there.
Wings. Red Wings.
Red Wings, yep, Red Wings are there. And then there's Ann Arbor, which is another it's a big college town. It's a pretty it's like a fun kind of weird city. It's one of my favorites. I love going there.
That's the home of Michigan, right? Michigan
Yep.
University, is it University of Michigan or Michigan University? I think it's
University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there. And then they've got campuses all over, but that's kind of the first one.
I did
And
see
then,
Kettering's in Flint.
yeah,
If
yeah,
anybody's ever heard of, is it Kettering University? Is that how you say it?
sure. Yeah, yeah. Big
I did.
engineering school. Yeah.
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 I've heard of it somehow. I can't remember how, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. A lot of engineers
Is
go there.
is Flint pretty big? As it's on Google Earth, it looks decent size. Is it known as like a big city? You think? I mean, probably not like Detroit, but
Yeah.
comparison to Detroit, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be smaller than Detroit. It used to be a lot bigger, like back when GM was booming.
Yeah.
There was just a lot more jobs, a lot more people here. Yeah, there's not as much going on nowadays. I don't think many people have like attractions or things that they're specifically visiting Flint for. There's not too much of that, compared to Ann Arbor or Detroit, or we've got East Lansing, the capital. That's
Yeah.
not fun too, but yeah. So you asked what Flint's like. So yeah, I mean, as
Well,
a
I mean,
kid,
yeah.
we used to come up here too. I mean, for shows, it was a good place for shows. There's a place called the Flint Local.
I think,
Um,
yeah, I saw something like 432 or something like that.
yeah,
Local something. Yeah, I was looking at something on there.
yeah, that was a really cool place for like local punk and hardcore and metal
Is it
shows. It's
still going? Is it still
yeah,
going? Yeah.
yeah, it's
Have you
still
played
going.
there? Have you played there?
In high school, sure.
Yeah. Did you
Yep,
play in a
yep.
band in high school?
Yeah, it was more of like a punk hardcore band.
What was it called? They're always funny
Uh,
names in high school.
it was utter nonsense.
That sounds like a punk band.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I wanted to spell it with two D's.
Oh, like a cow.
Yeah, but
You
I got overruled because it
got
was
voted out. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
not as dark back then.
Um, well, the things that I did see, Casey Kasem, is he from there? Casey
Oh
Kasem,
wow.
he was on the list of people, notable people, I guess.
I don't know. I remember his voice as a kid.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't write down anything, about why, because I figured you would know, so
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
I'd have to, I can look it up,
Yeah,
while we're on here, and see why. But
maybe I'll get some hate for not
the
knowing it. I don't know.
I did. I was kind of, on Google Earth. You just kind of fly around and look at the city, And there was, Landmarks has this like this blue icon with like either a camera or like a historical landmark icon thing, and this was just a regular like landmark. I don't know, but it said Buick City, and I was like, well, Buick's not around anymore. So what is it? So I went over and I clicked on it, and it was where Buick's warehouse was. I guess now it's just a flat parking lot with weeds growing up. But do you know anything about that at all?
I
Buick
don't know
City?
that term, but that's a lot of that in Flint. Yeah, a lot of factories and warehouses that
Like that are just
are
abandoned or whatever now?
abandoned. Yeah.
Yeah. What would be the industry now that I mean, what brings people job wise to Flint? Is it just
Yeah, there's still auto manufacturing in Flint, just not as much. I mean, you hear things about new companies coming in, building new plants, but I'm not sure what it would be at the moment. But I still see car stuff around. Yeah.
let's see, I'm on the thing here. Um, let's see. Let's see what it said about Casey. Nope, back up. Whoa, really? Nash Bridges was filmed there? Is that right?
Wow, I didn't know that one either.
Let's see. Oh no, it was just mentioned. It was just mentioned. I just came across that. I saw Nash Bridges. I was like, what? Let's see.
I mean, some of the Evil Dead stuff, I believe, was filmed
Oh,
here.
really?
Those guys are from here. Yeah.
Oh, the Flint Police Department's been on Cops. You know the show Cops.
Sure.
In
Yeah.
2018 and 2019, they were featured.
Yeah,
Featured.
probably. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm in. Okay, here's the. Come on, I know I saw it. Why is it? Of course, it's not on there now, right? Why would it be on there now? Oh wait, that's not what I
Casey
clicked.
Kasem Flint. That's what we're doing.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Wait a minute. What is it?
Let me look.
I don't know why it's doing this. Oh wait, here it is. Yeah, it says Casey Kasem, radio DJ. He started his career in Flint. That's how he's
Okay.
connected. Yeah, and let's see. There's another one on here too. Lots of music people. Not really ones that I know.
From
They're real well known, but and a lot of bands, a lot of rappers. I see on here too. Lots of rappers. But
Yeah, I
don't
feel like
even
there's
know.
been some up and comers. I mean, Flint bands that I would know would be like Chiotis,
Yeah, that they're on here too. Yeah.
um, Repulsion, like
Mm-hmm.
one of the first kind of grindcore bands.
I see that too. Yeah, yeah. These are. Let's see. Oh yeah, Grand Funk Railroad. I guess.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. So I take it the music scene there is it's pretty good for the most part.
Well, yeah, in the Flint area, I mean, there are definitely some bands. There's not too many places to see shows. I think one of the bigger ones is like the Machine Shop that has a lot of metal.
That
Uh,
sounds like a metal place.
yeah, but I mean, definitely the closer you get to Detroit, because we're about an hour, a little over an hour's drive from Detroit. So most of the stuff's out that way.
Speaking of Detroit, you went to a game with your dad recently, right? A Red Wings game.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Yeah. How was that? I can't remember which game it was. Did they win?
Yeah, that was great. It was versus the Predators.
Oh yeah, that's a good team too.
Yeah, where I work, they've got season tickets, so got to snag
Nice.
some of those. And yeah, we went up there. That was the first time I'd been to that new arena. A long time since I've been to
Yeah. See, you bet you were at the Joe several times. I'm sure then. At the
yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, growing up and then yeah.
I wish I would have made it to one up there, but I'm gonna have to go to Detroit and see a game because I've only been to one hockey game, and it didn't really count because it was preseason, but it was against the Penguins, and we won. We won, not the Penguins. I say we as in Red Wings.
Thank
But no,
goodness.
when I first started talking to you, I was telling you about the tattoo. I can't really show you because it's on my calf. I'd have to like stand up and take my jeans off. I'm not gonna do all that.
Oh,
They don't want to see that. Yeah, I meant to get the. I don't know what I did with it. It's see, I just did renovations in here, and things are slowly coming back. Making their way back because I had to move everything out. And I have a one of the Stanley Cup. It's just a post like a thick poster thing. It's not anything like authentic or anything. But it was I can't remember. I think it was one of the early ones. like nine
What
early
was it? So
90s.
why did you pick the Wings to be a fan
I
of?
don't. I think it was really thinking about it. I think it was the girl I was dating in college. She was from Pittsburgh, but her hockey team. She loved hockey, and her hockey team was the Red Wings. And she just kind of got me. We dated for quite a while, so she taught me a lot of like what icing means and things like that. Like,
Yeah.
and we would watch and stuff, and I just kind of I was like, this is cool, and with the fights and everything, it was an aggressive sport, and that was her team, so that's who we'd watch, and then I started liking Datsuk and Zetterberg and Larkin, just that whole team, and they were winners too. I was like, these guys are excellent, so I just kind of
Mhm.
jumped on that wagon and just never stopped really watching, other than the pandemic when they had the fake crowd noise. I just couldn't get into it. I
Yeah,
don't know
that
how
was
the
weird.
I don't know how the players did either. That was just because I think it was just on TV that they had that noise. You
I don't
know?
remember. Yeah, I don't know if they said they pumped it into the arenas or
Yeah,
not.
I know
Is
they
it?
had like. I mean, it was just strange. Well, everything was strange during the pandemic, but um, yeah, it was just I just couldn't. So I haven't watched it since, and you have to buy like a special TV package on Dish to be able to get the Detroit games. Like you have to buy the
I,
Detroit Sports Market, like the local thing.
yeah, yeah. They're
So
good at making it hard to watch those games and making them.
yeah, well, there's so many of them. How many do they play in a season? I can't remember.
What is it like?
Is it more than baseball? Because I know
I
baseball plays a crap ton too.
think baseball's a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a Google
Blanking
question.
90? I don't know.
It's several, and then they every playoff game is best of seven, so it goes into the spring usually
Yeah.
before somebody's a winner. But I mean that's got to be tough for anybody, even baseball, just playing that many games, and some of them are back to back, But
Yeah, that's too
yeah,
much.
it's a fun sport to watch though for sure. I need to get back into it again. I don't really watch much TV anymore, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I don't do as much either. Even with hockey, it's like I watch it, but not as much as I'd like to.
it's just kind of there while you're doing something else, right?
Sometimes it's like that. Yeah.
Unless it's the playoffs, then it's yeah, it's very fast paced. Yeah, I miss Doc doing the announcing. What was his last name?
Oh
Doc.
yeah, Doc Emmerich.
Yes. I had to look it up to see that he retired, and I was like, man, that sucks. 'Cause he's like the most exciting, and he's very knowledgeable about things too, like about hockey.
Yeah, yeah. He seemed pretty beloved. Yeah, people had a lot,
Yeah.
lot of respect for him. I like the Red Wings announcers. I like when I can tuning into the Canadian broadcasts. Those
Oh
guys,
yeah, yeah.
they
Those
just
guys know a lot about hockey. All
they
of
know
them,
it so
really.
well. Yeah, I like listening to them talk about it. Yeah.
Let's see. What's the? I had oh, the other thing that I found was Todd Beamer, the guy from United '93. I don't know what the connection is there. I don't know if he was born there
Okay.
or what. I should have let that page up.
I
You
do
know the guy
not
I'm
know.
talking about, right? The guy that said "Let's roll" or whatever.
Sure.
Let's see if I can find that again. Oh, there it is, the very top. It just says other. It's just under others, like other people that are, I guess, connected to Flint. I don't know, but I saw that on there.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
definitely. Yeah,
know.
I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah,
Flint.
yeah. What's something that we wouldn't? Oh, there's a porn star from there called Cinnamon Love. I thought that was pretty notable.
Yep. Not familiar with that one.
Oh, come on, really?
Oh, really not. But yeah, I don't doubt it. There's
Is there any weird things? Or what? Yeah, we were kind of talking about that before we went live. Like what? And it would be hard to think of anything 'cause since you're there, and you're used to it. But anything you can think of that we might not be able to see on the internet from a search? I know
like
the
I
water
know.
crisis is a big thing. I'm trying to stay away from that. It's like the elephant in the room, like the Flint water
Yeah.
crisis. But
Oh
um,
yeah, that. Yeah,
yeah,
if you want to, it didn't really affect me. I'm on a well. I've got well water.
okay, yeah,
But yeah, I mean it
yeah.
was yeah.
It was
Horrible.
bad. I know that for sure. Aren't they still
Uh,
some of them? Aren't they still kind of having problems with this or no?
yeah, I mean it's not 100% yet. I know it's better than it was,
Yeah,
but it's not resolved 100%. So
yeah.
yeah, still trying to work through that.
Well, I'm glad it didn't affect you.
Yes, me too. No, for sure. Yeah, like we were talking about that Atlas Obscura website. Um,
hmm
I've used that when I've gone on trips throughout the state to try and find things. In Flint, there's not going to be too much. I feel like there might be like a graveyard or two. Um, what are some of the things up north that we've seen? I mean, there's just, there's always weird statues, just
Yeah.
creatures. I know, I mean, Bigfoot is a big thing around here and up north. We've got what's the other cryptid thing? I think Dog Man,
Dogman.
something that
I haven't heard of
people
that. We
believe
have
in.
Mothman in southern West
Yeah,
Virginia.
oh yeah.
Mothman.
I read
And
that book. I remember that.
was the something monster. The Flatwoods Monster. Flatwoods is about 40 miles from here. The Flatwoods Monster was a big thing for a while. That stuff is just weird to me, because I mean, Bigfoot is probably the biggest thing in that topic, but nobody's. Every picture of Bigfoot is blurry as heck, and and they all look like just a man in an ape suit. That's what they look like, all of them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of them
I mean,
do. I've
you
watched a
believe in
bunch
that
of those
stuff?
shows, and yeah, I mean, they go through and they try to debunk them, but there's always somebody that proves it too. So it's fun. It's a lot
I mean, the
of
big thing now is UFOs. I don't know if we'll ever know the truth about the government's not going to tell anybody that stuff.
yeah. It's just I love it. That's I
Are you into that kind of stuff, like the
yeah,
mysteries of things?
yeah. I mean, I used to be X-Files is one of my favorite shows. Yeah, I've got a husky. I named
Awesome.
her Scully after the X-Files.
I had a husky growing up. Yeah, they're
Nice. Yeah.
awesome dogs.
Yeah, the best dog. Yeah.
Actually, my dad had he tied her to my snow sled, and one time when it snowed, she pulled me around. Not she wasn't very good at it, but she did.
Right.
She pulled me. So
Yeah, we all try. Yeah.
are there a lot of like snowmobile riding up that way? Is it that far north enough to do that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, around me, people do ride snowmobiles, but it's definitely a thing to go up north to do it. I know the boss at where I work now, she and her husband, they love doing that. They go on big trips just snowmobiling. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big thing around here.
Well, I think I know enough about Flint for now. I mean, I'll still look up some things, but I want to know more about your music and how you arrived at doing this and things like that. And then we'll listen to a little bit of it. I know they're really long, so we'll listen to snippets, I guess, as we were talking about.
Sure,
So
of course. You are
yeah,
you
what
want to know how it
yeah
got
what yeah
started?
how'd you get started doing Porous and where did Porous come from, the name and all that stuff? Yeah, and then we'll listen to something.
Sure, yeah. So I've always kind of been writing music since I was a teenager. I talked about, being in punk and hardcore bands, and that just evolved into metalcore bands, and then just more just classic just death metal stuff. And but always just writing stuff on my own was a big part of it, and I'd bring those to the practice space and play with everybody. And eventually, I just got to a point where just other things were going on in my life, so I stopped playing in bands and just started doing home recording,
Yeah.
and pretty amateurish for quite a while. And kind of the gist of how Porous came about was I tried doing vocals for a long time, and that's not my strong suit. So it was just really
Not for
frustrating.
everybody, right?
Yeah, I spent so much time trying to get those right. And meanwhile, the music sounded okay, but the vocals weren't always, as good as that. So I just stripped those out and started restructuring, what I was planning to put out anyways. And that's what that first EP was, the Cryovolcanic EP. And I
Okay.
really liked that, and people responded to that better as well. And I was just like, okay, like I think this
You,
is
you should have put out like the same album with vocals, and just see how people responded. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the same album either. Yeah, it would have been. I made a decision early on, and then
Yeah.
I attacked the songs without vocals. But
How do you? Okay, this might be a weird question, but how do you name a song that has no lyrics? Like you have to have names, I guess, to be able to tell them apart. But how do you come up with names to your songs if you're not talking about anything in them?
that is a great question. I usually what happens is as an album is starting to kind of cross the finish line, when it's maybe a couple months out, I'll just kind of look at like what I'm interested at the time and just try to hyper focus on that topic, and sometimes just try to think about what's going on in my own life and see if I can't have some things with double meanings
Yeah.
thrown in there. But yeah, I just try to make it loosely thematic to whatever's going on at the time.
You can kind of hear, based on what something's called, you can kind of hear maybe the emotion in music. Does that affect it also? Like you kind of sometimes have a name for a song, and then you go play it, and it kind of affects the way you're playing things. Does that ever occur?
Yeah, well, usually I'll name them once they're done.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's kind of the inverse of what you said, is I'll listen to them and then I'll try to then I'll know if
Okay.
that word or phrase matches what I was, how I felt, while I was writing them.
Like Burn the Brightest has an exclamation point at the end.
Yes,
So
yes.
so that's a good that's an exciting something. That's one of the long ones. Also, it's like 10 minutes, I think it is.
Yeah, almost 11. Yeah, that was a longer
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that one.
Let's listen.
it was,
You want to listen to? Is there a spot in that song we could start on, like a time thing? That you know of? That we
I
could start?
should know, shouldn't I?
I
Usually,
can try to get it there.
if you want to just start like halfway through, like at the 5:50, 5:30 mark, that might be right.
Let's see. I can probably get around that thing. 5:49. I'm afraid to go any farther because jumps.
Sure. See.
You want to take a little listen to it, or do you want to say anything more about the song, like how you got the title of it? Since we were talking about that before.
Sure. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So what happened with this one was I had released a full length album in October,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided at the time I was going to take a break from music, but I had a roller coaster couple months there and just couldn't stop writing music, and I just
Yeah.
needed to release it just to get it out there.
Yeah.
A little dark, a little hectic. So
Awesome. I like that. All right, here's Burn Brightest with an exclamation point by Porous at the 5:50 mark, or 5:49, I should say. Let's make sure I don't want it to explode in our eardrums. Here we go. How well this will work, but I was thinking I could keep it kind of in the background a little bit here. I don't know. I'll check that on the thing in a second. It sounds like it could be like in a movie.
Oh, nice.
Like in the background of a movie.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that, reaching out to local,
or a video game, or I think I was talking to a guy once that his stuff wasn't really taken off like in other realms, so he submitted it to somebody that does gaming, and they submitted it to people producing a game, and they put it in a game, like somewhere in a game. But
yeah,
that's what it kind of sounds like. But there's emotion, and you can hear the emotion, the different things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Are you playing all the instruments, or are the drums are they computer drums, or do you have a guy that drums with you?
Yeah, I do everything else. The drums are programmed. So yeah, I take loops, and usually I modify most of them or make my own.
I'll kind of fade that out a tad. I'll have to check the stream and see if it sounds okay. I don't want to blur the whole interview, if it's not working,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's very, very emotional. Not very emotional, but yeah, to me it sounds emotional. It sounds like you're telling a story, but you're not saying anything. It's almost like a, I don't know what that would even be called, but that's what all, even Zach's stuff, the guy was talking about, Zach Cray, even his stuff is like that. It's just burn the brightest, and it seems like it builds and then it goes down a little bit and then it comes back up.
Mhm.
Not a roller coaster of emotion, but just it's just something you have to listen to. You can't explain it to somebody else. Go listen to Porous. It's awesome. Like then you'll know what we mean.
Great. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah, just I try not to get too hung up on the details with the music nowadays.
Yeah.
I try to let it flow a little bit more. Um, I was listening to more jazz when lockdown started, so I try to
Yeah.
embrace a bit more of that. Let's just see, what happens, and I try to mix it up a bit more. So
So,
hopefully,
did you? I assume you layered guitar in there, so you have different guitar parts.
Mhm.
What about bass? Is there bass in there also that you played, or just kind of you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I play bass. Yeah, I play the bass, and there's usually a bass guitar and three electric
Wow.
guitars.
Now,
Um,
if you were to play this out live, or have you played this out live?
no, yeah, I've not played this project
You're gonna have to
live.
get a crap ton of loop pedals, I think, to be able to.
Yeah,
It's possible to do. I'm sure. I mean, you could do it. You
yeah,
know,
I've thought about that if I ever wanted to try to do something live. Yeah, do one of those performances with loop pedals, or yeah, I mean, if
I'm
there's
sure you
interest.
know a drummer. You could play the drum parts with you, maybe, or you could just even have a track. You
Yeah,
know?
I've seen people just bring up their MacBook, yeah, and just
Yeah.
hit play, and then the rest of them play their instruments.
I have seen a band with I've seen a band with a drummer, like a metal band, with a drummer and without a drummer. Now that they have one now, but they just couldn't lock anybody in, right? But
Mhm.
they had this big show, and they ended up playing the show anyway. And I was there with a drum track, and it's not this with a metal band, and a singer and all that stuff. They didn't really have the energy that they usually do, and it was just different, like that's the kind of situation I think it would be. A drum track's not the greatest idea unless you can pull it off, I guess. But yeah, I mean, with this kind of stuff, you would almost need to because you know where the parts are. There's I'm sure there's breaks and being the length that they are. I think it would be cool to see live. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I mean, an 11-minute song that is long, but there's definitely longer songs that people have played.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I mentioned that there's this new or that new Bell Witch album, a doom metal band, and
Okay.
it's basically one song. It's over an
What the
hour
whole
long.
album is. Yeah.
So, but that would be fun. That would be fun to see live. I like when bands do that. So, I
Yeah.
recognize not everybody appreciates it.
Well,
An
the songs that we're writing are about 8 minutes long. We just don't have them. We don't write them verse chorus either. Like I guess mainstream does. It's more of a story, and it is broken up into stanzas. I guess when I write the lyrics to it, it is broken up like that. But mainly just to know when we're doing other parts. But anyway, yeah, it's we're just not done with the song when it gets to 3 minutes. That's just getting
yeah,
going for us.
yeah.
So
Well, that's
that's
a lot of post whatever genre bands do that. I mean, that's why
yeah.
a lot of that from listening to like explosions in the sky
Hmm.
or Russian circles. It's
Yeah.
just
Russian circles. I love those guys. I
yes,
love that
they're
stuff.
they're wonderful.
That's so good. That's another good example of an instrumental.
Mhm.
That's those guys are. And I kind of found out about them like I guess when they were starting to get popular because I'd never heard of them and I kind of just came across them. It might have been on Apple Music. I can't remember. And I was like, "Where's this band? This is badass." And then I saw they were touring, and it was just way too late to get a ticket. And I think it was in Cleveland. It was the closest. But I mean, I would have drove to Cleveland to see that. Man, my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah. I've not seen them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need.
Well, we should meet in Cleveland next time.
Yeah, I know. I think they're from
Cleveland's kind of
Chicago.
far for you, though, right? That'd be a trip and a half, I'm sure.
Cleveland isn't too bad. I think 4 or 5 hours.
I'd like to get up that way because, well, see you next Tuesday's from Bay City, and they're always coming. They're always coming down this way to play, and they're friends. The last time that they were around here, they were touring with a band called Saltchuck, and they're from Detroit. And I had them on, and they were talking about Lansing's a great spot for partying and music. Well, that's Michigan State, right? Michigan State's
Hmm.
there.
Yep,
And what was the other place? Oh, Grand Rapids was another good spot. They said.
yep.
So
That's
I kind of want
Michigan. I
to.
go
I've
there
never
for a
been up
lot of
to
shows.
Michigan. other than that one weekend in Detroit that I didn't see anything outside of the hotel. So that wasn't fair. That didn't count, you know.
Yeah, you'll get up here again. Yeah.
But sometime when it's warm, I don't like cold weather too much. So, you know.
Yeah, you would not want to do that right now. Yeah, I think Cleveland, what is that? Is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when it first opened. We had a school trip up that way, and we went to Cedar Point during that weekend too, up in Sandusky. And but there was really nothing there because it just opened. So I mean, we were only there for maybe an hour, and then we left. You know, so I don't really remember anything. But I mean, you know, I'd like to go now. But we were kind of talking about that last night too with those guys in Phoenix. You know, it's like the people that they induct into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Some of them aren't rock and roll. You know, like I think Whitney Houston's in there, and I think Jay-Z's been in there. You know, like that's like putting a baseball player in the NFL Hall of Fame. You know, that's pretty much what it's like. You know.
Yeah,
It's
I guess it must
odd.
just they must be pretty influenced by
But rock and roll is a
and
whole
influenced
thing.
by-
I guess they're incorporating everybody in that. You know.
Yeah, I don't have a say in it. I don't know.
Is there a heavy metal Hall of Fame anywhere?
I don't know.
I've never looked that up. If not, we should start one. Me and you. We'll do it in Flint.
I know there's I feel like there might be a punk rock museum.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a heavy metal museum, and that's probably the best we'll get.
Yeah. Well, we'll start a revolution of Hall of Fames.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of work. I got enough to do here. Hey, I was telling you about the right before we started this band that I'm wearing their shirt because of this. Rats Will Feast is from Finland, and they were the very first band that I had on that wasn't from the United States. And back in, I'd have to go back and see what episode that was, but it was when I was still on Facebook. I did 39 episodes on Facebook, and then I moved over here to YouTube. But they were the very first. I was so nervous about that, and about the language barrier and stuff. They spoke better English than I did. Not all of them spoke, but I'm thinking that might be a reason. But so Rats Will Feast got a hold of me this morning, and they want to be back on May 10th. So they will be back on. I don't know what time yet, but they are 7 hours ahead of us, 6 or 7 hours ahead of us. So it'll be in the afternoon here. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I've been wanting to get them back on since then, but they're I don't know if I should say anything about it, but they're working on a new album. I think they put some hints out about that, and they'll be going on a tour somewhere. I don't want to say it because I don't know if I'm allowed. I don't know if that was just for me. So
yeah,
we're gonna do it around that time right before they go. So May 10th, be here before we know it, right?
Exciting. Yeah, that's cool.
So I just wanted to mention that.
What about in West Virginia, like out where you are? Who are the big bands or big metal bands?
Let's see. Well, that's one of those things you don't think of. Like who
is that? Lamb of God's not from there?
I don't think so.
That might be.
I might have to get on Wikipedia just to look up my own place. Just because I know Jennifer Garner's from here. She's an actress. Probably know of her, right?
Yep.
Let's see. Let me type it in here.
That's too bad that there isn't anybody that really stands out. Like,
I'm trying to think here. Of course, Wikipedia. Of course, you would. Hold on a second. It's just was okay.
That's crazy that nobody's asked you that yet. You always ask everybody else.
No, yeah, exactly. I never. I'm sure there are. I'm just not thinking of it right now. That's and okay. Nobody's in the chat room that could help me out either. And Rob's in the other room watching TikTok.
Deviant Cause is from West Virginia.
Deviant Cause is from West Virginia. Yes, we all are.
There you go.
And our first show is March 9th. Very excited about that. I'm very excited that we finally got a drummer. We did a first practice a couple of nights ago, and we're thinking about doing it again tonight or this evening after the show, and if the drummer can do it. But it changes things when you get all that in here, and work on stuff, because it's without it, it's just like kind of just play along to a track. And me and Rob have been doing that, and then we picked up Rick as our bass player, and that gave us some more inspiration for for playing, and it's just amazing how that works.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling here, and nothing's. It's all. We do have in my area. We do have a big Italian community. Lots of Italian immigrants came over, and the food is just out of this world. And we just recently got an Olive Garden. Olive Garden's been around for decades, and we just got one because we've had and we still do have really good Italian food here. That I don't even think we really needed an Olive Garden, but
Right.
it is. Some people
Yeah.
just
Well,
want to
hopefully they
go
don't
over.
push out the good local.
I doubt it. I mean, these local places have been in business, since the turn of the century. They've been around forever, and they're very. Actually, they just sold one recently. Yeah, there we got some chatters. I don't. Okay. Harsh says, "Yo." Do you know anybody named Harsh?
No, no.
Yo. Maybe that's one of the rappers from Flint. Could be.
Oh, hopefully.
Um, why is okay? Now this. It's crazy.
We don't, yeah, we don't got a ton.
I got to find something here. You got. Oh, here we go. Okay. So there's something I'm not. The William Hank Williams the third, I think.
Hank 3?
I think. This would be good. This would be good for my buddy Dale, the guy that lives in Nashville. He would know. He would know this question. And the John Denver song "Take Me Home, Country Roads" is our state song, I guess.
Nice.
Even though, and if a lot of people would listen to the lyrics of that song, it has nothing to do with West Virginia. Now, Western Virginia, it would. The Shenandoah River, the Blue Ridge Mountains that he talks about, that's not, really, that's not really well known in this state. I am into the music part of it though. Finally. I was in the Mountaineer marching band at WVU when I was at West Virginia University.
That's on the list.
I'm not a notable person, but that's something I was in. I was a trombonist, believe it or not.
Oh, good. You still play any trombone?
I don't, but I still have it. It's right over beside where I sit and when we practice. It's right beside me. I don't think I could, honestly. It's just one of those things you got to keep playing and playing.
Yeah.
It's all about your mouth, and your mouth has to be held a certain way. I can't even remember how to do it. I mean, I probably could. I could probably play a note, but as far as the song goes, I can't do that.
Yeah, no, I've never played any horns like that.
Really?
No,
you should try.
I've tried. Yeah, I played when I was in band. I took band in middle school,
Nice.
and by the time they got to me to pick an instrument, all the fun ones were taken.
Like what?
I hope I
Like
don't
drums?
offend anyone. I played the clarinet for a year.
Oh, my sister played that. Yeah, that's a tough one though. The
Yeah, I
woodwind.
just couldn't get into it.
Here I'm gonna try a different searcher. I know there's got to be. I know there is. I know there's. Hang on. Okay, Byzantine. You've heard of Byzantine?
Yeah.
They're from West Virginia. I had, yeah, I had the lead singer on. Roswell Kid, Boba Flex,
Ooh, yeah, Roswell Kid. Yeah.
Zal,
Oh yeah. Dang.
Carmen to Burn. Yeah, Carmen to Burn. They're not together anymore, but I don't know if you heard of them. That'd be a good listen for you. Let's see. Vials of Wrath. Let's see. What is Scenes from a Movie? That's an older band, isn't it? What's Missing? Oh yeah, we do have a kind of a. Rob would laugh at me because he used to hang out with these guys, but the Davison Brothers band is kind of getting bigger because they played at the Grand Ole Opry a few years ago. So they are pretty much the staple for around here, like notable people. They're still like active, I mean, they play everywhere. They have what is it? Just their crowd. What is it? Their followers or whatever. Their fans are just at every show. It seems like. I mean, they sell out everywhere they play, especially in West Virginia. But I mean, it's country, but it's pretty good stuff, really. I mean, it's I don't listen to country, but it's good.
Okay.
It's good stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, I don't know how I didn't think of this. Brad Paisley's from West Virginia.
Yep. That
Brad Paisley.
sounds, yeah.
Um,
But no other metal bands. Okay.
yeah, I'm trying to look. I'm trying to see that, but yeah, the ones that stand out would be Byzantine and Zao and Boba Flex and let's see, um, um, yeah, Karma to Burn. Look up. Well, I'll send you that stuff. But yeah, Karma to Burn is really good, and they're instrumental also. They did when they got signed. The label really wanted them to do something with a vocalist, so they hired a vocalist and tried that, and the album flopped, and they broke away from the label and went back to instrumental again, and it's excellent music.
Hmm.
I'm pretty
What a
sure you
weird
can get it
request from a
still.
label. God.
It is, but at the time, that see they formed in '94, so at that
Oh,
at that time they were doing a lot of touring and they did some European touring and stuff and they just the label felt that they needed to add a vocalist, and when they did, it went along with it. It wasn't that great. You could tell that they weren't enjoying themselves, but it's when they went away when they got out of that and started playing instrumental again, it was even better than the stuff before. It was just they did very well. Oh, okay. Chat room question: what's your favorite band of all time?
of all time,
All time. That's
those
tough.
are always really hard questions.
They are, yeah, yeah.
I would, yeah, that's super hard. It's not necessarily a metal band, but one of the bands that I've consistently loved, I think most of my life, is Propagandhi, which is kind of a Canadian kind of punk thrash hardcore crossover band.
Gonna say I'm
But
not really familiar with them, but
yeah, they're ones that I really love. They started out they were known more for their like punk music starting out, but they evolved into heavier kind of like yeah, thrash punk crossover stuff.
what would be your influence for Porous?
Yeah, so they would not be as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said earlier, it comes from listening to a lot of post-rock stuff like Explosions in the Sky. I said like Neurosis. Um, I know like when Death Heaven kind of first hit the scene, listening to them, I was like, oh, this is kind of what I've been wanting to do, this type of
Yeah.
stuff. And so that kind of inspired me to, kind of look at what they did and try to incorporate, what sounds they used and guitar effects. But then stuff like Alcest, Lancelos, I mean, the older black metal stuff like Immortal and Dark Throne and Burzum. Yeah, I like it to sound kind of raw, but then I like to bring in more kind of dreamy stuff. Like Sigur Rós would be a good influence for that aspect of things.
Do you do is it all DIY? Like, do you do all the recording at home for this stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, it's very good recording. Like
Well,
you can
thanks.
hear every part when you should hear that part. Nothing's too loud, nothing too soft. It's totally different when you hear on these than just on a speaker in the room.
Yeah.
It's and I don't do that with the guests I have usually. I usually wait until I'm on the show when I have my headphones on already. But with your stuff, I did because I wanted to hear the other stuff going on. Like, oh,
Nice.
oh, okay. I mean, those are the times that I would kind of rewind just a tad and just listen to it again. Ah, that's cool. Like
Yeah, there's a lot of panning between left and right. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, it's really good stuff, man. Do you have something in the works for the next one? I mean, this one's kind of recent, so you're good. I guess you're good for a while when it comes to gap in between. But
Yeah,
do you
I'm
have
still
some
I'm
stuff in the
still
works?
writing new stuff. I just don't have a plan
Yeah.
for how it'll be
Well,
released.
and it's okay because you're the band. You don't have to listen to anybody else.
Exactly. Yeah, I like
You
that.
can
Yeah,
just
as fun as it'd be to work with a label, I do like the independence of just doing it all myself and to let the
not being on
flow
a
go in your hands.
timeline and deadlines and all that stuff. You don't have to worry about that.
Right. Right.
Just your own personal deadline and goals and things like that. But yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
What was it? Let's see. Was it uh, Freedive was the other one that you mentioned in the email, and we could actually listen to most of this one if you want. I mean, I don't want to take any time, any interview time away, but or if there's a different one that you want to play a little bit of, or it's all up to you, man.
Yeah, man. You can play the first few minutes of Free
Okay.
Dive. Let's do that.
Harsh is the one that asked the question about the favorite of all time, and he said, "Without Love" by Propaganda is amazing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
well, this is another one of Porous' songs. This is off the EP. What's the EP called again? Remind me. Isn't it
This
off the
we're
EP?
doing,
Or this one's not off the EP. No, Burn Brightest was on the EP. I'm sorry.
yeah, Free Dive is from Such Breezy Darkness,
Right.
released in October.
Go check out Porous. This stuff is awesome. This is Free Dive. Some of it. We'll play most of it, majority of it. If I remember to turn the volume up, that'd be great, right? I don't want to turn it off. I really don't.
Oh, you're
Gosh,
good.
it's really good. But if you want to hear the rest of it, see that leads people to go listen. Go get it.
I'll have to write a shorter song for next time.
No, you're fine. No, don't change anything from me or anybody else. It's your stuff. Harsh says reminds me of Hope's Fall.
Oh yeah, I remember Hope's Fall. Nice.
Rob came in here towards the end there of the song, and I said, "What other bands from West Virginia can you think of?" He said, "Left Behind is from here." I'm not familiar with them really, but Left Behind's from here.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's okay.
You know them, Rob? You know those guys? Brutal Heavy? He said they're brutal. Brutal! Rob's son's in a band that's actually you'll probably know of here pretty soon because they're really good. They're called Scare Tape. And it's, how would you describe that, Rob? Gore grind. I mean,
Nice.
It's heavy stuff. It's really good. They're really good. Really good music. Yeah, Lord Humongous is the other band that his son's in. That's
a good name.
Yeah, he said that's a good name. Lord Humongous.
Yeah, one of the they're not from Flint, but I think the biggest metal band from Michigan was the Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh, really? Where?
Yeah.
Do you know where they're from? Where in Michigan? I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Waterford. I want to say Waterford, the Bloomfield Hills area. So more Metro Detroit.
The Black Dahlia Murder is from Michigan. He's saying. Harsh is wanting a link to the song. I don't have the link to give him in the chat, but I'm sure you're on YouTube. Your stuff is on YouTube because I think when if he's DistroKid or any of the distributions, it goes to. Do you have a link that's easier than all the letters and numbers? I don't know.
Yeah,
I was gonna type something in, or I can put it in the description after we're done. Also.
Yeah, on my Instagram, it's got a link to my my Song 2 page, so that's got all the links to YouTube and whatever else you want to stream it at.
And you're on Facebook and everything else.
sng.to/porous.
Okay. You want it? I can type that in there. That way they have it. Okay. All right. Give that to me again. Give it to me again.
sng.to/porous.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, if you find
Is that like the other link tree?
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I use Linktree now. It's yeah.
Oh,
so SNG.TO.porous.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It didn't really come up as link, but yes, Harsh. If you use that link, it will link you. I guess with like for a better phrase, it will link you. Well, we're not going to talk hot dogs, so I'm sorry about your luck. But I do want to know what the staple of your area. There's got to be a certain food that everybody eats that's known. Not that you can't get anywhere else, but maybe not. I don't know.
I think pizza. There's a type of pizza around here.
Well, Detroit style, I guess, is a style of pizza. So
yeah, Little Caesars kind of dominates, around here. So
really, Rob, Little Caesars dominates up there where he lives. They do dominate everywhere. You'd think you can't.
And they're not the only ones, of course, but they've got Little Caesars Arena, so I just think of them as.
That's true. Yeah, they own the arena.
But, Domino's is from around here too, so they're pretty.
What about
good.
like local pizza? Is there a good place that you only get like stuff that's not like a chain?
Well, I know there's Hungry Howie's.
You gotta shout them out. Yeah, you gotta shout them out.
There's Hungry Howie's, which is pretty good.
Hungry Howie's.
But I think they're up in other states now, but I know Michigan's definitely a big one for them. That's usually where I'll go if I want to get some pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
is that your favorite food? What is your favorite food of all time?
Pizza for sure. Yeah. Pizza and coffee. Those two.
Have you ever had them at the same time together?
I've got coffee right now.
Nice. So. Yes, I only drink coffee in the mornings, and I don't have more than 2 cups. That's just my thing.
I try not to do more than 2, but
I don't like to be
got to sometimes
all day long.
Yeah.
I used to work I worked at an airport for a while, and I had to be there at 6 a.m. And so I would drink a plethora of coffee before 10. I'd be done around 10, right before lunchtime, and
Yeah, well, at least that was the poison that you picked.
Yes, exactly. There could have been other things in there mixed in. I don't know. It was a long time ago. So no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But yeah, no, I mean, Michigan, I'm not a big foodie, so I'm also not the best person to ask. But yeah, I mean, around here, it's just
Now, do you
it's a
cook? Do you
melting
cook
pot
for
of
yourself?
everything. What's
Do you
that?
cook at home? Do you cook at home? Do you cook?
A little bit. I'm a single dad, so you can
Oh,
imagine.
chicken nuggets and yeah, I got you.
Sometimes, yeah. We keep it simple, you know.
Yeah,
No,
nice.
but yeah, I'll make stuff. Yeah, nothing crazy, but I know how to use the oven. I can bake some stuff up.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that don't know how to use the oven. Like Rob knows. Coley doesn't know how to use the oven. Our buddy Coley, he lives in Houston now, but when he lived here, well, he didn't live here, but or was he staying here then? Was he staying here then? He was here for like a couple of weeks, but he was going through a divorce, and I was gone, and I was trying to get in. Like my garage is connected to my house, right? So I was just trying to walk in from the garage into the house. He was standing right there when I got in, and I could smell something, and it didn't smell like good cooking or home cooking. It didn't smell. It just smelled bad, and I was like, "What did you do?" And he's older. He's older than us. Like maybe what 20 years older than us, something like that. He doesn't act his age anyway. He's. But so he was trying to make a pizza, and he thought that this cutting board that I had was a pizza stone, so he put it in the oven, and he didn't want me to come in because all the plastic had melted through the grates. Oh, it was a disaster. It's one
Wow.
of my best cutting boards too. But he never did pay me for that. I'm gonna have to hit him up for that. But I'll probably never see it.
That sounds so dangerous, and so the smell.
Oh, the smell was brutal. Yeah, and after a while, the outside of the oven was fine, but every time you open the oven, that plastic smell would be right there to greet you. Right there. We make jokes about it. I had it for a while on the wall, in here in the studio in the other room when I had it in there. I had that because once it cooled, I took it out of there, and it was like artwork, like the way it dripped and everything. But the oven was not artwork. I'll tell you that much.
Oof.
I had to buy new grates, and oh, what a nightmare. Yeah, he'd actually asked me where the oven cleaner was before I walked into the house. Do you have any oven cleaner? I'm like, even if I would have had oven cleaner, that's not going to do anything. That's not.
Nice.
God. Oh, but he's the guy that got me into synthesizers. He's got a bunch of them, and so I got he's a cool guy, great musician also. So we miss him. He's in Houston now, but he's been up and to visit and things.
Yeah, yeah. I lived
I
in
always shout
Houston
him
for
out.
a year.
Sometimes he's in the chat room. I don't see him in there today, but sometimes he's in the chat room. Is Sandoz Dilaudid is his his name for like everywhere. He's just he's a funny guy. So you need to get this stuff live, I think, or at least try it. I think it'd be cool. I would come and see it. I would drive up there all the way from here just to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. I mean, that happens, solo musicians, they put stuff out, and if
Yeah,
people do want to see it,
yeah.
they can get
And if
band
not, we'll just
together.
hang out and you can just play it, at the house on the porch or something.
There we go. I mean, I could do there's I forget the name of the band, but yeah, I mean, I could program like a bunch of robots to play them. It could be
Yes,
like
that's a
a
big thing nowadays too.
Five Nights at Freddy's thing. They could all be playing behind me, like
Exactly.
3D animatronics.
Like you could get mannequins and just program them to move at certain times,
Yeah,
and that'd be the creepiest thing ever. But hey, I'd still come and watch that. You should do it on Halloween.
I would go
And
watch
you can
that.
put it in the front yard like that, and then you just go out there and play along with them.
Yes,
That'd be
exactly.
awesome. I would help you out with that for sure. Hey, thanks, man, so much for being on the show. It's been really nice talking to you. You got to come on again and talk more about I mean, we could talk for a while about this music. It's really good. It's really good
Yeah, for
stuff.
sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Keep it going. Don't listen to other people about how you should do it and blah blah blah. Don't listen to any of that crap. Just keep doing it and on your own time. And I think things work out better that way too. Like things sound better when you do it on your time.
Yeah, I
When you
mean,
don't have to think about it.
I can get as obsessed as I want about it and make it how I
Exactly.
want it. So yeah, I like it.
Exactly. Well, stay warm this winter. I know it's
Will do.
cold. It's cold everywhere, and everybody's kind of getting this thing that's coming in, but from the Arctic. The Arctic people need to keep it. We don't need this down here. This is not healthy for anybody. I
It's
remember
not
last Christmas it was 0 degrees here. 0. That's what it showed on my truck. I think
Yeah.
or I think it showed 2.
It's gonna be 0 here tomorrow.
But
So
we had it was about 65 this Christmas. We were grilling steaks outside on Christmas Day. It was awesome. The weather's kind of like that here. But anyway, yeah, I'd like to come up to Michigan and kind of, I know the See You Next Tuesday guys, the Salt Chuck guys are in Detroit, the Red Wings are in Detroit, you're in Flint. It's all the kind of that area. I'll be there,
yeah, when you're up, hit me up. We'll hang out. We'll do something.
We'll do that. Yeah, for sure. Rob, I'll drag Rob with me if I can. He's kind of not. He likes to drive, but he doesn't like to stop anywhere. He just,
Yeah, you just got to get there.
That's right. I like to stop and see things though. Like, hey, a landmark. Let's stop.
Yeah, sometimes, if it's worth it. But
he brings a bottle with him when he travels, so he doesn't have to stop to go to the bathroom. Don't you, Rob? Yep. He's not listening to me. Anyway, well, yeah, man. Thanks again for being on. It was a pleasure talking to you. And send me your snail mail address on Instagram, and I'll send you up some stickers when they come in. I should be getting them Wednesday, I think, is when they come in for the new logo. I changed the one that's behind me. I'll have a new wall graphic, and I'll have some stickers and stuff too. So
yeah, absolutely. I'll get some merch up soon too, and we'll swap.
Awesome. I felt it was appropriate to end the show with Zach Cray. He's a good friend of mine, and I've met him in person several times and seen him play, and it's the same kind of stuff that you're doing. It's just I'm sure he does this on his own time also. It's really good stuff, and I thought it was fitting. He put out a new single recently called "Forest Season." I don't know if that's was a prelude to a new EP or anything like that. But I did when he saw that I was going to play his song. I asked him if he would come back and be on the show, and he said, "I'd love to." So we'll have to have him on here pretty soon.
Nice.
And Braswell Feast May 10th, and then we got we're going to Italy. Well, we're not going, but virtually we're going to Italy. Break Me Down is going to come on the show again. They've been on last year, and so that's be the 31st. I can't remember the time. But it'll be the 31st of January. It'll be posted and stuff on the page. I think it's already up there, actually. So, yeah, that's all I have coming up so far. Oh, and I think he did message me back, but I'll post another one. I think it's next Friday or Saturday. I just confirmed one. So you'll see that on Instagram and in Facebook and YouTube, the next guest. And Porous, Jim, thank you so much once again. It's a pleasure talking
to you. Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thank you. Here is Zach Cray with Forest Season, and I'll see you guys next weekend. You'll see it posted.